Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, and in this video we're breaking down Dune Part 2. The movie is packed with hidden details, deeper themes to analyse, and lots of changes from the book that I can't wait to talk about. Since the release of the movie, I've read through the book, the recently released graphic novels, gone through Messiah, and also Children of Dune. Well, the audiobook for that last one, because it's a bit rough. I even bought the paperback collection just for the covers. Look at that artwork. And it's safe to say I've gone to Arrakis and got the t-shirt. I'm obsessed with the Duneverse and all the things within it, and hopefully this will be the most in-depth breakdown on Dune Part 2. Until Quinn's Ideas releases his though, and dumps all over it. However, until then, I want to go through the movie scene by scene and talk about everything that you need to know about it. Stop while you're Dune, and if you enjoy the video, please hit a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for videos like this every day, and with that out of the way, huge thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into Dune. Now, just like the first film, we begin with a message before we even get to the studio logos. The initial one discussed dreams being messages from the deep, which we've gone over the themes of in our first breakdown. This included theories that it was genetic memory, and even potentially later the second in the future looking back. Genetic memory plays into the movie highly, with it being something Paul and Jessica tap into with the Water of Life. This allows them to look back through their entire lineage and gain all the memories of their ancestors. In the case of Elia, it ushers in something darker, as those who go through the ceremony whilst they're in the womb are known as the preborn. This means that they have an entire personality before they're even born, and this is due to the fact they're able to tap into all the memories of their ancestors. However, this also leaves them open to being possessed by these ancestors, which is something that's a big part of Children of Dune. Now, Elia doesn't get born in this movie, whereas in the book, she's a big part of the latter half. The Fremen viewed her as being extremely creepy, and the Bene Gesserit referred to her as an abomination in the throne room. At the end though, this is said to Paul instead, with him also killing the Baron instead of Elia.
Abomination.
How about you suck Atreides nuts?
Got him!
The original work had Elia doing it, but they put more focus on him and his ascension to the throne. This all comes down to the power that he wields, as the opening says. Now, this is more straightforward than the first film, with it showcasing that the power balance here will forever swing in favour of the one that controls it. Spice is the most precious substance in the universe because it's what the Spacing Guild use for navigation. It also allows for prescience, humans to live longer, and several other things. The entire universe is addicted to spice, and thus Paul controlling Arrakis means he controls everything. The first film also had a strong focus on power, with that being the reason the Duke was excited to go to Arrakis.
Here on Caladan, we've ruled by air power and sea power. On Arrakis, we need to cultivate desert power.
This was played off at the end by Paul, who realised they could finally achieve it.
Desert power.
However, the idea of power also leans in the direction of this movie, with it having more focus on action. Dreams in the first, that gave us a more contemplative movie, whereas for this, it's just all-out war. Now at this point, we hear Princess Irulan's narration. This is heavily in line with the book, as every single chapter starts with a segment from her. This is also something that the David Lynch film used, with the movie starting up with her narration. However, it also has a deeper meaning, as it shows thematically the future that Paul will have. The first movie began with Chani's narration, whereas this one's dealing with his future wife. It's sort of Irulan shoving her out of the way thematically so that she can replace Chani in more ways than one. Even the way the final fight is set up, it's supposed to show the future and the past. Chani and the Fremen stand on one side of the room, whereas Irulan and House Corrino, they stand on the other. Paul eventually moves over to those, showcasing how he's left those on the other side behind him. It's another massive change up from the books, as Chani is clearly scorned by what's gone down in the finale. I'll talk about that more in depth later on, but Irulan discusses how Leto was like a son to the Emperor. This is also a direct quote from the book, and it also details his reaction in the work. It says, "When my father, the Padishah Emperor, heard of Duke Leto's death and the manner of it, he went into such a rage as we'd never before seen. He blamed my mother and the compact forced on him to place the Bene Gesserit on the throne. He blamed the guild and the evil old Baron. He blamed everyone in sight, not excepting even me, for he said I was a witch like all the others. And when I sought to comfort him, saying it was done according to an older law of self-preservation, to which even the most ancient rulers gave allegiance, he sneered at me and asked if I thought him a weakling. I saw that he had been aroused to this passion not by concern over the their duke, but by what the death implied for all royalty. As I look back on it, I think there may have been some prescience in my father too, for it is certain that his line and Muad'Dib shared common ancestry. This is altered here as the Emperor says nothing, with him not being the same since. His inaction is telling, and it shows his hand in it, because if he cared, he would have brought wrath to the barons. However, as Erland says, they've done his dirty work before. Now the reason that he did it is because the Atreides were getting too popular, and thus they had the potential of ousting him. Christopher Walken's version is slightly different from the work, as in that the Emperor seemed like a younger man. Described as being middle-aged looking, his life had been prolonged by spice, whereas here they just went all out and had him as an older dude. This coincidentally is a weird callback to Walken's past, as he danced to the phrase "walk without rhythm and you won't attract the worm" in Fatboy Slim's weapon